Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dear everyone, welcome back to another thrilling episode of From RJ with Love. As always, I am your host, RJ Palhiggy. How are you? How are things? Did you have a good week last week? I certainly kinda did. Hard to keep track of a week. I've been trying since I started this podcast to take notes of things that had happened to me during the week that I thought you all would like to hear about, things that you'd find interesting. But this week, the notes were a little dry, so I'm going to do my best to give you another thrilling, laughable, well, not laughable, enjoyable, humorous episode, as you will. You know? Maybe you're just driving along, heading off to something you don't want to do, and I'm the little voice coming from your speakers that just makes it all the much better. Makes you sane, makes you not want to drive off into a ditch, because we don't want anyone to go drive off into a ditch. But first of all, a little change of venue. I have run from the depth and darkness of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I am coming to you from Woodstock, Georgia. Oh my goodness, I'm right here outside Atlanta. And you're probably, oh, RJ, did you go to that Super Bowl game? I did not. I'm here at my uncle's house in Woodstock. It's my cousin's birthday. He turned 12, so we went bowling. Because, that's what 12-year-olds like to do. But doesn't everyone kind of like bowling? I bowled a 111, pretty good for me, coming off of that. But yeah, I'm here. The weather has been beautiful. It was nice in Murfreesboro last week, but not as nice as this past weekend here in Woodstock. It was in the day about 65 to 68 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, just the slightest of slightest breezes that just, blew by. Good jean and a short shirt sleeve. Sorry, try saying that 7 times fast. Kind of weather, and we had a great time, but I'll come back to that soon because Saturday was Groundhog's Day, if I have my dates correct. Let me see here. Yes, Saturday was Groundhog Day, and Puxatomic Phil, for those of you who didn't catch the weather forecast, did not see his shadow, so he says there is no more winter. It's going to be an early spring. And to that I say, Phil, I think you're wrong on that one, because people are just freezing up north, aren't they? Little chilly up there. But hope everyone stays warm, has some fun in the snow if they can, and don't freeze to death there. Just a couple more months, and then you're going to be sweating your balls off, hoping that it was cold again. The vicious cycle that we live in. But did you have a good week? I had a semi-good week, I guess I could say. I don't remember a whole lot. I didn't do a whole lot. Kind of worked mundanely. I didn't even get to market, so I couldn't people watch. I know, I'm sure everyone is so disappointed. But later this week, I will be marketing back in the student union at MTSU, and maybe we'll get some people, some more interesting characters for me to observe for you all. But I did have last weekend, and I forgot to mention this last weekend. I do have a habit of forgetting one or two things that happened to me. But one of the things was I had some friends over last Saturday, and it was one of our friends' birthdays. Birthdays, he only has one birthday. It was his birthday. And his girlfriend's like, well, I'm going to bring a cake over. Is that all right? I said, yeah, that's fine. I have a lighter, get some candles. We'll do it, we'll do the whole 9 yards for the birthday. She goes, okay, great. Long and behold, she shows up with the cake, and this is a fruit cake. Literally, it is a cake, and it is covered with fruit. Who came up with this? Who decided? Literally covered in fruit. Like, it had strawberries and the leaves were sticking out of the cake of the strawberry. The strawberry leaves were sticking out. It was covered in like kiwis and apples and every fruit you can think of besides tomato was on this cake. And I'm like, is there even frosting on it? They go, yeah, it's underneath there. I go, what's the point of this? If I wanted a fruit salad, we should have gotten a fruit salad. But those two gobbled it down. I never seen anything like it. Kiwis, bananas, apples, red and green. Everything on here. Literally, it's like if someone brought a fruit cake. What's that Christmas thing? Is it fruit cake? This wasn't a fruit cake like, they make fun of in all the Christmas movies. This was a cake, like a regular birthday cake with frosting and everything, and then it was covered in fruit. It baffled me. I tried to take a bite of it. I couldn't even get a piece of frosting. I had fruits all over my fork, and I'm like, you know what? I can't. I'm sorry. Well, RJ, isn't it important that you eat your fruits and veggies? Yes, but not with my cake. Honest to God, the only things that should be on cake are the cake part, frosting, maybe a little whipped cream, and throw some ice cream there on the side. Boom, done, easy. Glass of milk, oh, heaven. They've been doing that for years. I don't know, they came out with something a little different. They did the cookie cake. The cookie cake, a good idea. Everyone likes cookies. Throw a little frosting on there. Make it a giant cookie. It's a cookie cake. I can accept it. But here comes some crazy people. Chopping up apples, breaking off bananas, throwing them on the cake on top of the frosting. Strawberry leaves sticking out. Disgusting. And I don't hate fruit. I'm not a fruit hater. Okay? I like fruit, but not with cake. Get it together. Oh, well, sorry about that. Went on a little rant. But yeah, if you're coming over for you invite me to your birthday or something, and I see a kiwi on your cake, I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna take my gift with me, and we will no longer be friends. I gave my friends who brought this one warning. I said, that's it. You pull this nonsense in my home again, we're never going to talk to each other. Hopefully they got the message. If not, maybe they're listening to this and going, well, maybe RJ's a little angry about the fruitcake. I'm not angry. I'm just concerned and a little disturbed. And I just realized as I was doing this little section that I could only think of a few, like 5 fruits. Fruits. What are all fruit names? Apples, apricots, avocado. No, there wasn't any of that. Cherries. Yes, there was cherries on it. Cantaloupe. Egg. Ugh. Never even heard. Cucumber. Something looked like a cucumber on that cake. Yep. That's how crazy they were. They put cucumber on a cake. Can you believe it? Anyway, besides that, I had a kind of mundane week, just kind of working in the office. But I did start on Netflix the Ted Bundy tapes. Have you seen this? It's a 4-part documentary on Netflix. I just watched the first episode. Fascinating. And it's obviously about the serial killer Ted Bundy. But I'm worried about us because this is what Netflix had to put out. They put out on their Twitter. This made news. Netflix Twitter. I've seen a lot of talk about Ted Bundy's alleged hotness and would like to gently remind everyone that there are literally thousands of hot men on the service, almost of whom are not convicted serial murderers. Oh, but that was the part of Bundy's charm. He was so pretty and so good looking that he could get away with something like, get away with what he did. Couldn't get away with that today. Pretty guy, pretty white guy, looking at him. Guilty. Dunzo. But this is on this website from the Huffington Post. Gave us a user tried to justify their the claim of Ted Bundy's hotness. He said, "But he's or she. I don't know who this is, but he's hot though." And Netflix responded, "Where?" And the guy comes back with, "He was hot in that electric chair." Oh no. Oh, he was definitely hot in the electric chair. He was. But it boggles the mind, things like this. We as a culture, at least in America, are fascinated with serial killers. And fascinated. I mean, think of all the shows around killers and murder. CSIs. There was 4 CSIs, NCISs, Criminal Minds. Just, we can't get enough of this stuff. Me and my family watched Zodiac, that good family-friendly movie, last night. Just, we can't, and I'm listening to a podcast about the Zodiac right now. Just, people cannot get enough of the mysteries of murder and all. And that, I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? Isn't that a little odd? Just us, our sheer fascination with murder. And I'm curious if it's like this around the world. Because I don't know if many of you have watched this, but there's a station called Investigative Discovery. I believe it's a sister company of the Discovery Channel. And it's basically all true crime stuff, like Forensic Files and, show the First 48, shows like that, all day. And my family, my father, my grandmother, my aunts, and my uncles cannot stop watching it. It is constantly on in their houses. It's gotten to a point that I'm very concerned with the safety of some people. Because my family has watched enough of this Investigative Discovery that they could probably kill someone and get away with it. I'm very nervous. So if I just all of a sudden go off and no one hears from me for a while, maybe I was killed. Who knows? But literally, they have it on all the time. My uncle has it on while he goes to sleep because my family's a bunch of crazy people. We have to watch TV while we fall asleep. We just can't fall asleep. We just can't lay down, go to sleep. There's got to be something on. And for some reason, he picks True Crime Investigative Discovery. Yep. Just going to sit here and watch how, Mrs. Susan Reynolds, she got killed. Oh, who would have thunk it? But it's also crazy, going back to Ted Bundy's hotness. I also saw something on Facebook, a meme of it said, white women, when a new true crime serial killer documentary comes out and it's got this girl with big eyes, a big smile, like, hey, yes! People love it, as I said, Maybe some of these people are trying to spice up their love lives with it, with Ted Bundy's hotness. Valentine's Day is coming up. Hey, baby. Oh, hi there. What would you like for Valentine's Day that would just really get you going? And she's like, oh, you really want to know? Baby, we'll really just get you all hot and ready. Let me tell you, sweetie. I would be so ready on Valentine's Day if you just went out and chopped somebody's head off and put it in the freezer. Oh! But I digress from the serial killers. I did have another moment of oldness, even though I am only 23. I'm helping direct a murder mystery dinner show. I will advertise for it. If you're in the Murfreesboro area and you're interested in coming to a show, you get a meal and entertainment, music. Try to get to solve a murder. Actually, we're not off murders yet, are we? Back around we go. I'll put a link to tickets on our Facebook page. If you're interested, please come and see me. It'll be a fun time. But we were having rehearsals, and the rehearsals ended, and there's some teenagers in the show. And one of them, or one of the older people who are my age, quoted a Vine. And for those of you who don't know what Vine is, Vine was like a social media thing where you could make 7-second videos. And there's, famous Vines now. You can go on YouTube and look up famous Vines. And actually on YouTube, the names of the Vine compilation videos are just as ridiculous as the Vines themselves. Let's see what we got here. We have Vines that toast my buns. Vines that keep me from ending it all. Oh no. Vines that keep me from ending it all. Vines to watch instead of sleeping. Vines I cannot live without. It's ridiculous. But so anyway, there are these 7-second videos, and they're very, very strange and very, very stupid and ridiculous. But some of them are really funny for some reason. And what was the one that was quoted? I think it was, "Why are you running? Why are you running?" Remember that one? Maybe some of you don't, some of you do. But these kids looked at us like, "What are you talking about?" And we're like, "It's Vine." They're like, "Vine?" And we're like, "Look at all of these chickens." And, "Country boy, I love you." Those guys, they had no idea. So we had to pull up the Vine consolation. And it's this feeling that I get when younger people don't understand things that I do, and then I don't understand things that they do. I'm losing grasp on my youth, and I do not like it. So I kindly ask that people stop doing that. Okay? Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, as I said, I am here in Woodstock, Georgia, for my cousin's birthday, and Woodstock is just north of Atlanta, and it is an awesome little town. And it's not that it's little, but it's very connected. It's so connected that everyone knows everyone's business. I was out with my uncle and his girlfriend, and they're like the mayors of this town, and every time they meet someone, or not meet, but see someone, and that person would walk away, they just turn to me and be like, "Oh, that guy, issues." Or that lady, whew, issues. They know everybody in this town, and this Woodstock is really cool, especially downtown. Main Street is about a half a mile long, or not even a half. Well, Main Street's kind of long, but there's this like 3/4 of a mile stretch, and it's just all bars and little restaurants and all, and each one is fantastic in their own right. There's a rooftop one, there's a pizza place, seafood, brewery. It's really, really cool if you ever come down and see it. So we were out Friday at the fire at the pizza place, and I'm meeting their friends and all, and we're socializing, and a guy comes up to me and he goes, "Oh my God, you look like that famous guy." And now this has happened to me on multiple occasions, people coming up to me and telling me I look like famous people. But I don't know, because I've never gotten like a same person multiple times. It's always someone different. Like my sister, people always say she looks like Jennifer Lawrence. Like multiple people have said that, and I can kind of see it sometimes. I don't truly believe it, but I can see it every now and then. But honestly, I get a different person every time. This person told me, and he had to pull up it on his phone and hold it up. He was like trying to persuade me and people at the bar. He had to Google the picture of the guy, hold it up to my face, and drag me around the bar. He thought I looked like Brandon Lee, the son of martial arts master Bruce Lee. Now, Brandon Lee is half Chinese, I believe Bruce Lee was, and I am no half Chinese. So there was that difference to go right off the bat. So yeah, maybe do I look like Brandon Lee? Before that, someone told me I looked like Val Kilmer, and I didn't know if I should have been complimented or insulted. Because I'm like, if I look like Top Gun Val Kilmer, well, thank you very, very much. That is a beautiful man. But if I look like Val Kilmer today, it looks like I'm about a half a donut away from cardiac arrest. And I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I may be like 3 donuts away from a cardiac arrest. So I need to get jogging. Oh, speaking of jogging, my friends are trying to get me to sign up for a 5K, and I ran a mile the other week. Let's just say it wasn't pretty, but I still got it. I was still in that 8 to 10 minute range on my mile, so haha, still got it. But the best, back to people I look like, the best thing I ever heard, without a doubt, the best one we ever heard, we were in the Keys, and this was maybe 7, 8 years ago. This was a while ago. I was about 13, 14 years old, maybe. Yeah, so it's almost 10 years ago. We were down in the Keys for, I believe it was 4th of July. And we were staying at this resort called the Islander, which is a really, really neat place. Well, anywhere in the Keys is great. If you ever go to the Keys, definitely, or have the chance to go to the Keys, go to the Keys. But we're at the Islander, and they're like little, little rooms, and then outside is all like sandy gravel, so you can just walk around barefoot. It's beautiful out there. So anyway, it's me, my uncle, my aunt, and my grandma, and we're out on one of the picnic tables at like 1 in the morning, because that's what we do. We just stay up all day and shoot the shiznits. But anyway, it's like 1 in the morning. We're just out there chilling, and out of nowhere, this lady comes out, literally out of nowhere, like out of the shrubs and palm trees. She emerges from the darkness with a giant labradoodle, like the biggest frickin' labradoodle you would ever seen. It was like the Scooby-Doo of labradoodles. This thing was ginormous. And she's wearing like something like out of Jane Fonda's workout videos. She's got like the leg warmers, like her hair all up. She looks like she's going for a jog. She's like, "Excuse me, I'm so sorry to bother all of you, but we've been getting ding dong ditched. Have you seen anybody running around?" And we're like, "Oh, no, sorry, no." She goes, "It wasn't you guys, was it?" We're like, "No, lady, it wasn't us." And she sees me. She goes, "Oh my God. Oh my goodness. You look just like that famous person." And of course, everyone's like, "Oh, really? Who does RJ look like? Who does he look like?" And she's like, "Oh, it's he's really, really famous. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it." And we're like, "Oh, well, who does RJ look like? We need to know the answer." So we're like, "Well, what's he been in? Maybe we can guess it." And she's like, "Oh, the real famous guy. He's in a Lethal Weapon." And without missing a beat, I stand up and I yell, "Danny Glover!" Now, for those of you who aren't laughing and are confused with who Danny Glover is let me find out how old he is. Danny Glover, age. Danny Glover is a 72-year-old African-American man. And for those of you who know me, maybe you don't know me, I am just an American. No African in me. So there, just to clear things up, no Chinese, no African. So she's like, "No, not Danny Glover, the other one." She thought I looked like Mel Gibson, which I don't know. Maybe I do. Can't really tell you. But fast forward 6 years, 4, 5, 6 years later, and I'm about to head off to Tennessee, and I'm in the bank setting up banking stuff, and the banker goes, "Well, we need to set up some security questions, and I'll gladly type them in here for you." He goes, "What celebrity do you resemble the most?" And again, without missing a beat, I go, "Danny Glover." And he goes, and he turns and looks at me. He goes, "You do not look like Danny Glover, sir." So he had to go through the whole story of how I look like Danny Glover. So yes, I am now, that's the one who I think I most look like is Danny Glover, and none of you can ever tell me differently. Hey, did you watch the Super Bowl? Huh? Did you watch that? That big game of people kind of bumping into each other? See, first of all, congratulations to the New England Patriots. Was there ever any doubt, as I said on the first episode, that Tom Brady and Belichick guy, you can't deny how good they are. No matter how much you hate them, they're Pretty freaking good. But I must say, the game was a little, people weren't too happy with it. Thought it was boring. See, I don't like high scoring football games personally. I do not like high scoring football games. I like some defense, watching some defenses make some plays. But it can't be all defense, just like it can't be all offense. So, and just, 3 quarters and only 2 field goals the whole game. It was rough to watch, but I mean, brilliant coaching by both sides on shutting down the defense until, Belichick finally figured it out with Brady and they got the one big play and, the rest was history. And did you see the Super Bowl halftime show? Maroon 5 did an excellent job. Adam Levine couldn't resist taking his shirt off. Good for him. He looks like he's about 4,700 donuts away from cardiac arrest. But what, and people are not upset, or are upset, not, oh geez, look, I'm rambling on whole different words, are a little ticked. People really wanted Sweet Victory from SpongeBob SquarePants to be played at the Super Bowl, and the NFL teased it with the SpongeBob opening. And I mean, I'm sure people flipped out, and then, Travis Scott came on and sang whatever he sang. But could you imagine if they pulled off Sweet Victory, the kind of fan base that that the NFL would have had? They would have had people they never had watch an NFL game before. I saw it on there, when Squidward and SpongeBob showed up. I'm like, wow, they're actually going to do it. Wrong, they did not. But it was a very entertaining halftime show, in my opinion. Better than some of the past ones we've had. Yeah. That's about it. Again, not a whole lot happening this week, and I do not have an ad. The people who were supposed to give me an ad did not give me an ad, and I tried to call them before the show started to find out if they still wanted it, but no luck in getting the ad. So we're just going to skip over that and go straight to the favorite part of the show, well, in my opinion at least, weird headlines. And we're going to the first weird headline, and this is, let's see, the first one we have is, it's loading. Half-naked woman defiantly masturbates in public even after cops arrest her. Dildo still missing. Well, this was a very calm and polite show until this moment. I do now send out my apology to little Jimmy in the back seat. But compared to the man from the first episode and him choking the chicken to help his back to this lovely woman, he's going to be getting an education that only the internet could really teach him. Let's see here. This happened, where did this happen? This was published February 1st. Getting caught and handcuffed didn't stop her from masturbating in public. She just, had to get her juices flowing. On Tuesday afternoon, 2 police officers responded to a call about a woman exposing herself in front of the JW Marriott Austin Hotel in Austin, Texas. Hey, not Florida. They arrived to find Dove Nichols. Oh, that's a stripper name. Dove. Or Dovey. Excuse me. Dovey. Yeah, definitely a stripper name. A cheap stripper, too. Dovey. We're going to go see Dovey perform. Probably she does a great white snake. 26-year-old with a prior record alone in a swanky and spacious cocktail bar across the street. She was busy pleasuring herself. How lovely. The cops, quote, observed she was not wearing any pants, unquote. Well, she had to, open wide and get going. It's hard to do that with jeans on. The hotel manager said in an affidavit that Nichols started her activity in the hotel lobby. She was making moaning noises while applying a silver object to her genitals, quote, with her legs straight up in the air, spread open. She didn't even try to hide it. She went straight for it right there in the hotel lobby, just ripped them pants off. You think she had the sweatpants that rip off like sports athletes do when they get called to go into the game. She's like, well, I'm feeling a little tingling. Maybe she watched the Ted Bundy documentary and got hot and ready. Just ripped them off and had to get going. Oh, the employee tried to approach her, he recounted, but she barked at him to back off. This allegedly went on for 7 or 8 minutes, her barking. Oh, get back! Get back! Oh, get back! Oh, no. When the cops found her at the bar, Nichols was so immersed that she just kept going even after they handcuffed her. And on the way to the police station, according to the arresting officer. In the back, this is in big letters. In the back of the squad car, she began to repeatedly rub her groin back and forth on the plastic seat. Oh my God. She's being charged with indecent exposure and her bail was set at $3,000. Arresting officers did not recover a silver object reportedly seen by the hotel manager. Oh no. Oh my goodness. So there's a pleasure object missing in Austin, Texas, first of all, and I feel bad for the officer who has to clean that seat. Oh, well, hopefully she got her socks off. Hopefully, poor thing. Whew. Anyway, let's go to the next article. Florida girl, back to Florida. This is going to be a good one when it starts with Florida. Florida girl stole Papa John's delivery car to visit boyfriend. How about this? A 14-year-old Florida girl is facing grand theft charges after she allegedly stole a pizza delivery driver's car early Wednesday morning. God, that's got to suck for that guy. Because, it's got to be one of just, the most unforgiving jobs. Being the pizza delivery guy. You're loved, but just, God, I couldn't even, I don't know if I could do that day after day. Having those lovely pies sitting in my front seat and I can never just take a taste of anyone. And then a 14-year-old steals my car. Could you believe it? Police in Lee County. Oh, we need to find out where this is. Lee County. If this is in redneck part of Florida. That's got to be north of Orlando. Let's see. Lee County, Florida. Okay. It's south. It's south. It's by Fort Myers. It's in Fort Myers, huh? That's old people territory. What the hell is going on? Let's see. When the driver went to deliver here we go. Police in Lee County said Josie Bigelow ordered 2 pizzas and had them sent to the neighbor's house in Lehigh Heights. When the driver went to the door to deliver the pizzas, Bigelow allegedly popped out of some nearby bushes and stole his 2006 Ford Taurus. Oh my God. Just nuzzled in the bushes. Told deputies he was walking to the front door when he saw a person come out of the woods, get in his car and drive away. Did he leave his keys in the car? First of all, dude, don't do that. Freaking idiot. She drove to Lehigh Acres Middle School, but when a policeman approached the car, she drove off quickly. Good for you, Vin Diesel. She was eventually apprehended about 6 miles away from her house, charged with grand theft of an automobile and taken to juvenile assessment. Bigelow's father, Joseph Bigelow, told reporters that his daughter's plan was to meet her boyfriend. Man, talk about true love. And he said, I sent the cop text messages of her and her boyfriend talking about robbing people and all that. Oh my, this is like the couple from Natural Born Killers. You ever heard of that? Seen that movie? Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis. These kids are going on a spree. Oh my goodness. Adding that his daughter, quote, needs a, in parentheses, rear end, in parentheses, whipping. That and jail. Well, he's not holding back, is he? Meanwhile, Cook gave the pizzas that were ordered under false pretenses to the responding officers. Well, that's a good thank you. Thank you for getting my car back from a minor. Here's some pies. How about that? Just good old news coming from Florida, as always. Well, now we're moving on to the email section of the show. Again, if you want an email read on the show, or you have something you want to ask me or something I'd like to talk about, feel free to email us at fromrjwithlove@gmail.com. Again, that's fromrjwithlove@gmail.com. We only have one this week, and it says, this polar vortex can go fornicate itself off of this planet. Well, I'm sure it can. I mean, the groundhog said spring is coming. But Game of Thrones is coming in April, and we all know that winter is here. Anyway, with that, thank you guys again so much for listening. I don't have a time on here. I don't know how long I've been talking. This seems like I've been talking shorter than usual. But again, not a whole lot happened this week. Hopefully some nonsense happens next week. Get into it. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to like, share, and tell your friends to start listening. Hopefully, we get a little more popular and get a little bit more feedback. This will end up on iTunes and Spotify and stuff like that. That's the goal for right now. And yes, again, thank you so much for listening. Send in an email to be read onto the show for next week. That'd be awesome. And let me know who you guys think I look like. I'd really like to know. So you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you next Monday. And as always, this has been From RJ with Love.